Howdy and aloha, everybody. This is James with Mana Talk. Just a place where I'm just trying to save the world and all of its inhabitants. I know it's a stretch, but if you have the right leaders, maybe we can do something to save this insanity that's happening. Like what you hear on when you watch the movie Avatar and the Kahuna, I'd like to say, or the witch doctor lady that comes up. There's a better word for it. I just don't have it in my head right now. Comes up and tells Sully, who's in the movie Avatar, and she goes, we need to cure your insanity." So a lot of weird shit's happening right now. I mean, I'm very fortunate in West Virginia is that they've tested maybe 80 to 90 people, maybe 100, and nobody is positive yet here, and no deaths, which is very fortunate. It's like the only state out of every state in the 50 states that we have in the United States. So maybe I just jinxed us, who knows. But anyway, it's just getting really nutty. I'm hearing so many different conspiracy theories, lots of theories, lots of laid claims, a lot of people on Facebook and Twitter and TikTok, and I mean, you name it, they're out there saying all kinds of shit. But what's really interesting to me, and it was a fact that about 4 months ago, Trump was advised about COVID-19. Somebody brought that to his attention and he just shrugged it off. All right. So we could have been a lot more prepared. But what's most interesting that I'm seeing, and it's really starting to kind of hit me in a nerve, like, you know, she's a shaman. That's the word. That's the word, a shaman. And there was a word I missed the other day, conflict of interest. And I was talking about how Pete Buttigieg had his money with Shadow App, and a lot of his family members and friends and associates were part of the Iowa primary, which is just a total conflict. I mean, there's been conflict of interest in regards to the primary, running and moving and surging against Bernie from so many fucking directions. But you can check out my videos on that, just going back, and Faiz Shakir just is a piece of shit, and Liz Warren is still a piece of shit, and Joe Biden's a lying sack of dementia shit. And Joe Biden and Tulsi Gabbard are the only people that I think can actually do something to save this planet and all of its inhabitants and try to do some things that are necessary for us. But with that being said and that being known, and in my opinion, a fact, to a certain extent, because you still have to remember they're still entangled in that party, in the two-party oligarchy in some way, shape, or form. So all my eggs are not in their baskets totally and completely, because there's a lot of things happening, and here's one of them. And I'm going to go ahead and start this. This right here is, what's her name? Her name is Really Graceful. I think her name is Grace. And she does an interesting piece, and I'm just going to play this, and hopefully you guys can hear it. Let me just make sure the volume is up enough and all that good stuff. And let's just hear what she has to say. And what she's talking about is CEOs stepping down. In the past year, it's been a mass, or it's just an exodus. Mass is already in the definition of exodus. It's just a ton of fucking, it's a tsunami of CEOs and higher ups that are just pulling out of the markets, pulling out of their jobs, just leaving. So let's listen to what she has to say. Great piece, by the way. She did a great piece.
January 2020 set a record for the number of CEOs who stepped down in a month, at a total of 219 departures, but I didn't really start paying attention until the CEO of Disney announced his resignation. Let's take a look at this tweet I posted a few weeks ago on February 26. I said, "Here are the major CEOs who've stepped down in the past month." They include major members of the corporatocracy like Disney, MasterCard, L Brands, Victoria's Secret, Uber Eats, Hulu, MGM, IBM, Salesforce, and LinkedIn. As the days went on, I added to the list of major CEOs who stepped down because I'd missed a few, like the CEO of Nestle Waters, BlackRock co-founder, several Wall Street CEOs, and even Jeff Bezos unloaded $4.1 billion worth of Amazon shares in February. When the stock market crashed a few weeks later because of the panic the media created over coronavirus, I began to wonder, were these CEOs tipped off to the chaos that was to come as a result of worldwide pandemic? Did they sell their stake in the company while the getting was good? Did they all cash out before heading to their bunkers? And when the plague is over, they'll just slither back into society and buy up shares at the bottom dollar? A few of you who commented on this Twitter thread or who messaged me privately seem to think this was the case. The upper echelon was tipped off before hiding out in their bunkers. If you take a look at the stocks of most of these companies whose CEOs stepped down in January and February, the majority of their company's stocks peaked in January and February, only to absolutely tank in March. Take a look. I've put together a few examples on the screen from MGM to Salesforce to Amazon, L Brands. They all follow the same pattern of peaking in February and plummeting in March. Of course, if this is true and these corporate executives did have knowledge that the economy was going to take a major hit, then by resigning in January and February, this allowed these corporate CEOs to cash out on their company stocks that they would otherwise be forced to keep while employed at the company. While a record number of CEOs left their positions within 2 months' time in 2020, lots of people have been keeping up with the pace at which CEOs have been retiring and resigning over the past couple of years. In 2019, it was reported that over 1,300 high-level CEOs had left their positions, even during record stock market highs, and apparently the last time such an influx of corporate resignations occurred, the year was 2002. The last big wave of executive resignations occurred in 2008, in the beginning of the financial crisis. A few of you shared your take on why CEOs were leaving in record numbers over the last couple of years, and it had nothing to do with the recession and everything to do with foul play. In December of 2017, President Trump signed an executive order which authorized the Treasury Department to seize the assets of people and organizations involved in human rights abuse, human trafficking, and corruption. With the ongoing Epstein saga and the recent Harvey Weinstein trial and verdict that has rocked the reputations of Hollywood and governments around the world, is it possible that we can connect a portion of these corporate resignations to this executive order?
Well, I just want to stop here. There's more to this, but there's several different notions, several different theories why these people are leaving. And I just got to tell you, I've got to bring this home to you. Once you're, and I've been there, I've been at parties in Beverly Hills, in the Palisades, uh, you know, just in Newport Coast, uh, some really high, Laguna Beach, some really high end parties. And most of the time, when I was a kid, when I was younger, I didn't really understand a lot that was going on, and my mind was somewhere else anyway. But these people are really weird. They're very sickly in a sense, and some of their thinking. Let's put it this way. I mean, I've seen statues of some heinous things. I've seen statues of some disgusting and disturbing things. I've seen paintings in their houses where it's like their main montage or their feng shui. Um, I mean, I was at a party at Bel Air one time, and the first thing I saw was like kids pulling a dog sled and some statue, and they didn't have, and like children pulling a sled, instead of dogs. I still remember that. It's these Once you become a billionaire or a multimillionaire, you get invited to these things. The industry of Hollywood is pretty fucked up, honestly. And there's some crazy shit that happens. Um, and I want people to have fun and do whatever they want to do. But at a certain point, once it starts getting into the pedophilia, area, somebody's got to report that shit. And what happens from sources, from people I know that are still in the industry that are out there, they don't, because they don't want to lose their position in their job or what they're going to be getting, and it happens in on the Hill, and it happens in politics as well. There's a lot of really bad things that are happening out there, and it's like, my God, I mean, isn't your partner enough? Isn't your friend enough? Isn't your, I mean, there's some sick fucking motherfuckers out there, and it's weird because a lot of shit went down, as soon as this was passed. A lot of just a task force went out, people started leaving, and then the coronavirus started coming, and it slowed down, and then there was word of the coronavirus, and I get some people got tipped off. From my opinion, I think some people got tipped off on what's coming down the pike, whether it was planted and used for some political reason or some giant money grab, which is actually happening right now. But anyway, I'm going to let it keep going. But this is a great article. She did a great job, article video. She's on all kinds of platforms out there. But let me go ahead and start back up. I'm just kind of running. It's just the dots are connecting. And sometimes when you connect the dots, the lines of the dots are really faint, or they're not as strong. But in this particular situation, the more research that I'm doing and the more information that I know that I'm putting together, the lines that are connecting these dots are getting a lot stronger. They're getting a lot bigger. And I would really love to see more people out there researching this stuff like she is. It's well done, and I'm sure there's others, but this is the one I found. It's a great job. Okay, I'll stop time. All right, there we go.
We can speculate a little. There are big name folks out there who are out of a job because of their association with Jeffrey Epstein and his Mossad blackmail operation. Like Les Wexner, the CEO of Victoria's Secret and owner of L Brands, who stepped down from his role in February of 2020. There's an MIT Media Lab director who resigned last year after it was reported that he helped Epstein secure anonymous donations. Even President Donald Trump's labor secretary, Alex Acosta, stepped down amid backlash over a secret plea deal he orchestrated for Epstein in 2007. And we can't forget Prince Andrew, who stepped back from his royal public duties because of his association with Epstein. Those are the reports we've heard about, but what haven't we heard about? And I don't know, the whole Epstein thing really feels like a psychological operation. Which I don't mean to say what's being reported about blackmail and sex islands isn't true. I'm just saying, like Harvey Weinstein is the fall guy for all perverts and abusers in Hollywood, it really seems like Epstein was the fall guy for government blackmail operations. As if to imply by the media outing Epstein, the government has now been cleansed of all its wrongdoings, since Epstein is now out of the picture. But we both know that's not true. And I wonder, will any real justice ever be had? This whole ordeal was really punctuated by Bill Gates stepping down from the Microsoft board of directors over the weekend, which he said was in an effort to dedicate more time to philanthropic priorities, including global health.
Yeah, total bullshit on him. He's fucking in the loop. Like George Carlin said, it's a big fucking club. It's a big club, and you're not in it.
Health and development, and his increasing engagement in tackling climate change. Hilarious, right? These jokes write themselves these days. Back in 2018, Microsoft founder Bill Gates, who is not a medical professional, ran a pandemic virus simulation which he projected would kill 33 million people if that simulation came to fruition. A year later, alongside the Johns Hopkins Center, the Gates Foundation hosted Event 201 at the World Economic Forum in October of 2019. Event 201 was a high-level pandemic exercise that basically played out a pandemic with potentially catastrophic consequences, which then became what the Gates Foundation labeled Event 201. That would require cooperation between industries, governments, and key institutions. On February 28, 2020, Bill Gates called coronavirus the once-in-a-century pathogen we've all worried about, as he sounded the alarm for world leaders to respond accordingly. One has to wonder if he was signaling for world leaders to order more hand sanitizer for their bunkers, or if he was just signaling his friends to cash out their poker chips on the stock market so they could.
Yeah, so this is a big dot. This is a big dot, and it's like, how do I say this? I think I know. Your guilt made you subconsciously expose yourself. Your guilt, because it truly appears that you had laid out the foundation for somebody to say, hey, how can we, as a party, as a corporation, which I call both parties, Republicans and Democrats, the two-party oligarchy, but I shortened it down to the corporate party, right? How can they uh, do something worse? Or they don't call it's not worse to them, because I have many questions and I'm still very not at ease with 9/11 at all. And I've gone over tons of facts and information to clearly show that it was an inside job. And I'm going to stand firm with that, because there's no fucking way Building 7, and there's too much information in regards to Building 7. But back to what we're talking about here is it really seems like there's a line, there's some connected lines here. And when I was thinking about them before, they were kind of faint, but when she put out her information, that's when they started to connect. I mean, again, she's doing a great job. Look her up again, really graceful, one word, on YouTube, and she's also on a few other platforms. So look her at. I know she's on Twitter, and I think she has a somewhat kind of a page on Facebook as well. But she's doing a great job. Pay attention. This concerns me. This concerns me because there's $21 trillion that have been missing since 9/11 and counting. And I think the number is even bigger than that. They're just the Pentagon, for some reason, there was an audit and they can't find the fucking money, right? I mean, you think you not paying taxes is a fucking problem? You think you not, you know, doing the things you needed to do? But these guys actually lost so much fucking money, and nobody, and nothing's happened. No slaps on the hand. Nobody went to jail, right? I mean, imagine you're at work and you somehow your drawer full of money and you're at, I don't know, Little Caesars or Domino's or Pizza Hut or McDonald's or something like that, and the money just disappears out of nowhere, and you don't have an answer for it. What do you think your manager's going to do? It's like, you don't have an answer, you're gone. You're written out. You're in fucking trouble. Over $20 trillion disappeared. Let's keep going.
Sell high and buy up stocks later when the prices hit rock bottom. There have been many mainstream articles debunking Bill Gates' connection to the coronavirus. And at this point, my advice to billionaire Bill, whose father served on the board of Planned Parenthood, would be to stop paying journalists to correct the record for you and go full 1984 and just open up your own ministry about yourself and Big Pharma. Oh wait, that's already happened. Since 1875, Big Oil is Big Pharma. Think Rockefeller medicine. And all of these industries are incestuous. From government to Hollywood to medicine, they're all just different tentacles of the same octopus. When the dust settles on all of the panic surrounding the alleged pandemic, everyone is going to forget that all of these CEOs stepped down in this mass corporate exodus, because the 24-hour news cycle makes sure the masses are constantly distracted. But I want to know, internet friends, what do you think? That they would otherwise.
What do you think? So, very well done, by the way. Very well done. Okay, so let me get back to the dots. Now, I don't have a board behind me, and I'm not putting pins in something, tying strings to them. but you could really kind of see for yourself how this is contributing or benefiting the socialism that is clearly socialism to the corporate party, the 1%, the elite. And the CEOs, I mean, I was watching the movie 2012. It just brought me to that movie, the 2012, where earthquakes and the Earth's moving and all this other shit. So they build these arcs, right? And I should have had the video. I actually had the video ready to show you, but I think if you've seen that movie, uh, you'll see what I'm talking about. But they already had their scapegoat, their golden parachute, golden parachute. They already know what they need to do to protect themselves. They already have stockpiles of water and food and medicine and oxygen or whatever the fuck they need. They've got everything they fucking need. Because when you're a millionaire, billionaire, or quadrillionaire, you're good. I mean, but the rest of us during this pandemic that just came out of fucking nowhere are fucked, right? One theory that came was there are some very high up or high end people in China clearly stating that the US brought it over and they have proof of it, but nobody's following up on that. What if that was the case, that they found out that one of our operatives or somebody was able to smuggle it into China and drop it off, or smuggle it into Iran because Iran was infected just a few days after China started showing their stats and their results. If you strategically place this in certain areas, which, by the way, I heard that they did that, or the FBI or the CIA did that in regards to AIDS, right? And there's a whole story on that too. But look, conspiracy isn't a conspiracy if you start proving it to be an actual fact. There's nothing wrong with a conspiracy. There's nothing wrong with bringing up theories. There's nothing wrong with I don't want to say pontificating, because that's like Joe Biden's middle name, Joe Pontificator Biden. But if you have something to back it, then you can say a few things in regards to it, but you need to end or lead off or somewhere in there say, just saying, from what I'm seeing, it appears, it could be, it just theoretically or hypothetically or whatever you want to say. But I think it's important for people to have these things. I think it's important for us to understand that it's okay to start connecting these dots. It's okay where you see an exodus of CEOs just dropping off like flies. I'm not saying dying, but leaving their positions, right? Leaving their positions of great power and great influence, making a ton of fucking money, just for what? Why? For who? Oh, I've been working too long, making $100 million a year, and I want to spend more time with my family because my 3 yachts and my 4 homes and my house in the Cayman Islands just isn't enough, and I just need to get away. Okay, something is afoot. It's very obvious. I don't like any of this, and I pray and hope to the gods that everybody's fine and we can get out of this quick. But guess who they left in charge? It's like the perfect fucking numbskull and his band of fucking idiots, along with the party that never gave a shit about anybody in the first place, or neither did the Dems when you come to think about it. But Donald Trump right now is he's getting pressure And I guarantee his wife is going, what the fuck is wrong with you? What the fuck is wrong with you? You can do all these and help all these people. What's happening? In the back of his mind or somewhere, an order was given or somebody said, you can't. You've got to fucking let these people eat shit and die. Sorry. It just it just appears that way, just hypothetically speaking, right? But they left the fucking, just the morons, right? You get Pence saying, oh, you know, we just need to pray more. Fuck. So there it is. There's my show. I don't know who's actually watching or listening. Oh shit, we got a few people. Zoxalix. Sorry, Zoxalix. It's been a while. Let me see. Michael Epstein. Audio too low. Is the audio still too low, guys? Let me see if I can fix that. Audio too low. Audio too low. Okay, I think that's okay now. Let me see. I wish I had somebody to check this with, but I don't. I need to check it. I don't see hula skirt yet. Nope, not yet. Not yet. If Bernie gets totally screwed, like I said, I'm going myself. I'm taking a tiki torch, coconut bra, and a grass skirt. Hopefully it'll probably be warm at that time. And I'm going to go say, what the fuck, guys? What the fuck is going on? But anybody that gets near or around, if martial law is in effect right now, then we're really screwed. If martial law is really in effect, then you really can't do much but just obey what is being passed down by the legislators, the judiciaries, and the executives at the federal level. At the federal level, there's really not much you can do but just follow what these fucking idiots aren't doing and can do, which is sad. Let me see, it's over, it's done, no doubt. 50% anyhow, 1928 levels. They injected 20 trillion probably in the last 4 months. Yeah, they've injected so much fucking money to the banks and the elite. I mean, this is the hugest money grab I've ever seen. And if you watch, I was watching it earlier today with Bernstein or whatever the fuck his name is. Not Bernstein. He was on 60 Minutes and they were talking about the 1.5. Oh, they just type it in. They just type in the money and it just comes. Right? So these guys are getting a shit ton of fucking money. Yeah, riots for sure. Right? UBI should be definitely there. I mean that, and from what I'm hearing, it's supposed to be 1,000 for 18 and over, and it's supposed to be 500 for children. But I don't see that yet, and I don't think he's approved it or authorized it. Has that ever happened yet? I could be wrong, but word has it. Yeah, 9/11 was for sure bullshit. Zoxalix. I hope I'm saying that right. I don't think I ever say that right, bro. Riffing your mate, train our thoughts. I want film, hard copy. Montauk, man, I have a theory for you. Many along those lines. I've worked it out. So Zoxalix, listen, if you have a theory and if you have information and if you have pins with strings on them connecting to pictures posted all over your walls in some obsessive way, form, or shape, I want to see. Okay? Yeah, and everybody knows what MMT is for sure. Well, that's our voting system, right? Our voting system is fucked, especially the primary system for Bernie Sanders. But in regards to what's happening everywhere, and like I said, I pray to the gods that where I'm at right now is the only state, and knock on wood, we don't have it here. But the way this all came about, and the way Bill Gates came out, and all these CEOs leaving, and everybody, and I mean, this isn't something that happens. The activities of the corporate elite or the CEOs and all these people, these activities are not common. They are not common. This isn't something that, I mean, in 2008, they left because they had to. it seems like they're leaving because they know they have to. They didn't know they had to. It's just what happened, and Glass-Steagall definitely would have helped that situation, which fucking Bill Clinton, that piece of shit, overturned or just got rid of it, and a few other things that could have kept the banks on Wall Street, et cetera, and everybody in, Moody's and the Treasury. What the fuck are these guys called? Moody's. If you're looking them up, Burns and Stearns, or the people that approve the money and say that it's okay to take out the loans. Yeah. Well, the Federal Reserve, honestly, is it's a corporate. It's not even a governmental process. It doesn't have oversight. It doesn't have transparency. There are so many things that are happening in our country which clearly indicates, and I'm going to say this, the need, and I think they're trying to push this. It's a need, and you can almost see this when it comes to Trump, because he's bringing Walmart, CVS, all these companies that are going to just get a bunch of fucking money to do nothing. They're just making a fucking website. And they don't even have tests that are working. Oh my God. But a corporate takeover of the United States of America could be alongside with some other country. I wouldn't be surprised if Saudi Arabia is salivating with this, and they have players in certain positions. I wouldn't be surprised if a corporate takeover may be offered to fix all the damage that's happening, and it could send us right in a place to where slave labor is just par. It's just the way life is on this planet. And these people do not want to release any power. These sick, disgusting, pedophile, whatever the fuck they are, they're going to do whatever it takes to hold on to this power. They've been feeling the Bernie, Tulsi, fucking super progressive. There's kind of progressive, moderate progressive, and then there's super progressive, almost leaning, libertarianism in a sense, where we want our freedom back. I want to be able to collect rain from my rain gutters or however I want to and use my own fucking water instead of paying for water. I want to be able to have solar when I need to and go on the grid when I have to. I want to be able to take care of the things I need to do and grow my crops and start a business from my home without having to pay, insurmountable filing fees and all this other shit, which I understand. A lot of it socialistically helps provide the sidewalks, the stoplights, the roads, the bridges, the infrastructure. Yes, of course, I'm absolutely for that. Firemen, police officers, people needed to patrol and do the things they do. Socialism to me is a necessity, and it's something that when you have, 8 billion people on a planet, right, 320 something million in the United States, you've got and people dying on the streets every day, and nobody's insured. 40,000 people a year are dying because they don't have enough coverage or any coverage medically. Bankruptcies. I mean, it's just it's insane. Yes, modern monetary theory, but I doubt anyone hanging out doesn't know that that's here. Yeah, no, not a lot of people understand that. Not at all. Oh, Snark is here. Hey, Snark. In Florida, if you install solar panels and do not use at least a kilowatt hour of electricity from the power company, they condemn your house and tear it down in 30 days. Is that true? Is that fucking true? I mean, that's pretty extreme, but yeah, there's the grid itself, PG&E, and a lot of companies all over the fucking place. You've got Appalachian Power over here in West Virginia. There's so many fucking corporate party connections to where it's just, and it all comes back to campaign finance reform. It really does. It all comes back to the simple fact that if we don't take money out of politics completely and put the people that should be taking care of us back on the DMV line, in other words, being paid just to do their fucking job, which is to take care of the 99%, then this capitalism society that we have, and it's gotten so bad. And I hear people, capitalism is great. It does. How is that working out for you? Capitalism is wonderful and it's done so many great things. No. We're at where we are at, and people are dying because of capitalism. Because they've taken all the fucking chains. They've taken, and I want small businesses to grow. I don't want to put so many fucking restrictions on small businesses, but if they're pouring shit in my lakes, if they're dumping pollution in my oceans, fuck them. I don't need them. So, yeah, so that is true. It is true. Wow, that's pretty fucked up. So, to put it mildly, and I'm going to put it mildly, we need more people out there digging deeper to find and connect these dots. NPR and the AP, Associated Press, they're all bought. They're all owned. None of them that I know of or have seen. Maybe 0.4% of them might have the guts or the pussy, because testicles are fucking weak. I just don't like the analogy there or the use of the word. Because to do what is necessary to get the information out that we need right now. If we're really going to stop this, we've got to start connecting these dots, bottom line. I don't think it's going to go away because I think they're going to let it play out. I really believe that once they hit their mark and they've done the damage they need to do, just like they did in 9/11, all the way till now, taking the money, gotten their money grabbed, everybody's fucking, all these rich and powerfuls are fucking just bathing in oceans of fucking hundreds, of fucking just gazillions of dollars. Once they've got theirs and they think they're okay, but it doesn't stop there. Because the capitalistic process, there's no caps on it. There's no ceiling, right? There's nothing that stops these sick, motherfucking, demented, narcissistic. The word just keeps going. And you know what I keep thinking about? It's just crazy. Is that the first person they use is who? The poster boy. When this all happened, the first fucking dude and gal, or dudette, who pops positive for the COVID-19 coronavirus is Tom Hanks and his wife. And Tom just did another fucking war movie. It's like, do you need a fucking another war movie? I'm so sick of war. I mean, I get it. Yeah, things sucked. People died. We need to stop doing that and not praising it or holding it up like it's something we need to cherish and remember. Look, they're all heinous, terrible, destructive, and totally unethical things that were happening in all these wars. People were destroyed, cut, diced, fucking dismembered, splattered, destroyed, kids, families, moms. I mean, you've got to understand the repercussions of these fucking sicko corporate party elites actions. Military industrial complex is just heinous. And that CEO left. She's gone. She was a girl. Lockheed Martin. She's like, oh, I've done mine. I'm good. I got the word. I'm out of here. I'm going to go fucking to the Cayman Islands to my little fucking villa that's got, 20 acres. Nobody can be around me. I'll be there for another 3 or 4 years, basking in the sun, drinking fucking Mai Tais. Right? Yes, we need a law that Fed is to be nationalized. If we want money, they should trade equity in their bank, for it will do no collateral on the loan. Otherwise, we should just make up money. Well, that's what they're doing now. That's what they're doing right now. They're making money, right? I think it was what the fucking Alan. It's not Alan Bernstein. It was somebody else. But they just fucking just go on the computer and they go, okay, that's how much you get. That's how much you get. It's just fucking digits. Yeah, excuse me for that burp. Anyway, I'm hungry. Listen, guys, bottom line with what I'm showing you is we need more people out connecting the dots. Jimmy's trying to do it. I hope he's trying to get some of this information and trying to do it. I do hope that, but he's working hard on the primary and the shit, and I did a video on that. Got the information pretty quickly on that. I'm very fortunate for that. But we need more people digging deeper, not just at the surface of or the excess of what the mainstream media gives you. We need people going out, asking the questions, talking to the horse's actual mouth, or the camel's mouth, or the bear's mouth, or the fucking bull's mouth. We need people out there in the fucking, and this is the perfect way to keep you away. 6 feet. 6 feet. Everybody keeps 6 feet away from each other. For fuck's sakes. Let me see. They have algorithms that can make adjustments as needed for flipping votes. Something like that would be simple to program. Of course. A randomizer or something of that nature. Yeah, this is, it's really sad. If you watch what happened from Illinois, this lady busted the station, and I did a video, the one prior to this one. It wasn't an accident. It was an accident because I still haven't got any answers back. So if you were just doing a test and it was an error just showing that information, then why was it so accurate of the voting base or the U.S. Voters or the U.S. voting republic demographics or the people in that area that were able to vote in Illinois? Because if you look at the numbers, these are the amount of registered voters. Why couldn't they have just used like 15 against, or like 110 beat, 105? That would have done a great test, but no. And they probably did it to maybe tell everybody, hey, like I said, you didn't want to do it again, or you don't want to go vote because it's already been done, just fucking with people. Or somebody in there said, you know what? Somebody needs to see this because this is bullshit and it's happening. That person, if that's the case, I commend them and I think they should be fucking awarded the Star of Humanity. Not the Purple Heart for being a killer in the war. Anyway, had I planned on traveling, researching, and doing the town halls this summer, all plans canceled. Yeah, I'm trying to go. I'm buying a ticket tomorrow to go out to see my son for his graduation, but they're giving me an option, even though I'm getting an economy flight. In case something happens, they'll return my money, which is good. Otherwise, I'll have to pay $1 bazillion to get some stupid flight where there's like 5 people on the fucking airplane right now. And that's in June when he graduates. Convo Couch, good channel. Check out their latest video on voter fraud. Absolutely. Their Convo Couch is doing a great job. I do love the information that's coming from Jamal. His new, who's that guy's with? Political Misfits. Political Misfits. I don't know his name. Another one, definitely Kyle Kalinske is still doing a good job. Mike Figueroa is doing a good job. He's, of course, with the Humanist Report. And of course, Jordan Sheridan. God, that guy's been on fire. He's in the face, and I really commend him for getting out there and doing those things. Convo Couch is doing the same. Hard Lens Media, the guys at Hard Lens Media, impressive. They have a good show, and all of their opinions, their theories, and the information they have is valuable. These are people in a circle of people. Zoom Politicon has some good information as well. And of course, Jimmy Dore. and his team, along with Ron Placone, who does Get It On with Ron or something. What is? And then Graham has some good information. There's so many out there. There's a lot out there. Anyway, I gotta stop. I gotta get off of here. Go do what I gotta do. Again, we need to dig deeper in strengthening these strings with facts, or cut them if they're stupid. But it's something that's quite apparent on what's happening, and it's starting to create some big dots, which have been created. It's connecting those dots, and if you follow the money, if you follow the timeline, if you follow the information, the connections, the travel, where these people have been, who they've been talking to. I mean, the CIA and the FBI, here's something you guys need to understand, can tap into anything. Thank you, Patriot Act. Thank you, NDAA. They can, if they think you're a terrorist, they can, all they have to do is flip the switch and you're fucked. But we, as a people, can't demand that I want Joe Biden's fucking telephone and his cell phone and his emails. I want that open to what I can see. We don't work for them. They work for us, but they're doing whatever they can to keep it in keep the power, keep it in their hands. They're doing everything they can. And this is the biggest money grab, in my opinion, that I've ever seen. It really appears that way, that I've ever seen in a long time. Listen, you all, thank you very much for coming on. Good seeing you guys. Share my video with the world. Let them know what's going on. How many subscribers do I have? God, I've been on since 2014 or 12 with the podcast. I don't have hardly any fucking people. But I'm okay with that. As long as you share it, I don't give a fuck about the subscribers. I am not here to sell t-shirts or coffee cups, right? I'm not. I'm here to help and get people activated, out there doing the research. Please take my information with a grain of salt. You're probably saying, oh, fuck yeah, I take that with a grain of salt. Take it as a grain of salt, but take the information that I give you and at least research it. Check it out for yourself. Like I always say, check yourself before you wreck yourself. All right, all. I'm going to say a big aloha to you. Mahalo nui aloha. Thank you guys for coming out. I truly appreciate it. Take care.